This is the Tier 7 American light tank, the Bulldog on Halluf encounter. So typically, same thing as how you would play the standard mode. Want to go up through this 2-line area here. We'll cut down through this area over here to see if we can spot that if anyone comes down here. It's something that you can do if you're in a fast tank, not something really that you want to do if you're in a slower tank. A lot of it depends on the opposition that you're against as well. And so as usual, you want to see what your team dispersion ends up being like. We don't have a whole lot of armor on our team, but they don't really either, other than their E100. So we're sending not that many people up here. At least some of our heavies are coming over here, which is good. You need them to anchor the 1-2. Our T-71 and Centurion are going through the middle. We didn't spawn anything coming down here, so not a worry at this point. So then all you have to do is just get set up to watch this cross first, and then what you want to do is you want to watch your team. As your team pulls up through the 1 line, you want to be able to be sure that you can watch this other side over here to make sure that if they have anybody poking, essentially playing the same role that we are on this side, that you can push them back a little bit. And so that T-57 is sort of kind of almost getting close to the position where we're going to have to go and check. And then we see a friend, which is fine. T-57 is there now, so we should go forward and check. Probably should have went forward a little bit more there. Could have picked up that Pershing.
It's a trap!
And our E50M pushes forward a little bit, and then he pulls back. That's fine. You know, all our guys have gone across here relatively scot-free. Not too worried about them getting shot by a 1375, or even the Pershing. But we're going to have to pressure up here sooner or later. Here comes their E100. Something important to note: once the E100 crosses, that means that sort of 2-3 line area is going to be a lot weaker. So even though he's close to that 1 line, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be super effective up there. And so we're still biding our time a little bit. We're looking to see, we don't have a whole lot of tanks here. We got a couple tanks over on this line over here. We got the FE-183 up behind. We have the E50M where I'm at, and that's pretty much it. We've got a bunch of guys still milling around in the base, which is not really what you want to see. Our guys that went down to that southeast side have pretty much died. So they've won the little river delta over there, which is not quite as important as it used to be, given that they made this side a lot less static. So our E50M is going to push in on the 1375 here, so I need to make sure that I can cover him from above. However poorly. I can at least make sure that I don't let that Pershing come in over on top of him. This E50M is getting shot a little bit by their Panther II in the cap right now. Our FE-183 just drove up this middle, essentially undetected, because the Pershing and the Leopard had backed off, and so he surprised that T-32 and just slapped him in the face. And so now I just need to try to keep this Leopard and this Pershing honest, because that our E50M is 1 shot, so it would be pretty easy to kill, and the FE-183 doesn't have a whole lot of health either. And so they have that Panther II on cap, but it is in counter, and there's only 1 guy on cap, so it's not really that much of a threat. And so our FE-183 is just going to continue driving around wherever he wants, apparently, because nobody else is paying attention to him. So this Leopard is just looking in my direction, does not see this big-ass FE-183 coming up. Unfortunately, the FE-183 does not one-shot him, so it is very sad.
It's a trap!
And we've got guys pushing through this B line now, which is usually decent enough. It's not, it depends on how much stuff they have back there to shoot you. I'm gonna just get a reset if I can. Yeah, good enough. And so now, see how these guys are pushing through this B line here? That means the Panther II is going to look towards them, which is going to give me side shots on the Panther II. I can theoretically shoot through his upper glacis because I'm at a higher elevation, but it's better to wait for a good shot, especially when you have a clip. So now see how he's looking off to the side, so I'm going to shoot him through the side turret here. And then he's going to turn his tank just enough for me to shoot into him. And so that's the rest of my clip, and unfortunately our IS-3 is now dead, and I think our E50M is about to die. So they still have a little bit of cap pressure. We've got an IS-8 and a Carnivarne coming through the back. They do have another Pershing down there, but he's not on cap. He's just kind of sitting out in the open, so it's not that much of an issue. Our FE-183 is retreating back a little bit, which is fine. We still need to win this area, though. And so their Panther II is just sitting out there, and then their Pershing thinks that he can outshoot me. Okay, so the IS-8 killed the 48, I killed the Panther II and the Pershing, and for some reason the IS-8 decided to drive down to the cap anyways. Maybe he was going to try to cap, not sure. So they have Ferdinand, a Roomba 110 left over. But our guys have kind of retreated a little bit. This FE-183 is now coming across. I'm not sure what he was going back to base for. And this T-34 is over on this side as well. And then so you want to push into the base. We know that the Roomba and the Ferdinand are somewhere over here. There's the 110 who appears to be AFK. And there's the Roomba who fired. And he's got the 128. So we can get a few shots here, and then what we want to do is basically use this hull down. And he fires again and he misses, and then we can just use that opportunity to finish him off. And their bat chat is being pressured by our T-34, so we can go over here and see if we can finish him off. We think that the Ferdinand is probably still in that same general area. Yes, he is.
It's a trap!
So it's best to leave him alone for now. We'll go out to the bat chat and then go back. But the T-34 manages to kill the bat chat. I don't know why the bat chat didn't just hide from him. So it is time to farm some damage.
Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy is hit. Enemy fuel tank is hit.
And you always want to try to shoot engine if you can. And then it's just the Ferdinand left. And mop up time, and this FE-183 that's just been driving around, and everybody's for the most part ignored him until he shoots them, gets to drive up to this guy as well and blap him. But good for him. And so anyways, the moral of the story is you play this area here. You can protect the cap as long as you control this area over here. You want to try to prevent your guys from being shot. You don't necessarily have to win the A line. If you win the B line, it's really easy to flank out the A line. If you win the A line, it's not quite as easy. So it's something to keep in mind that if you can win this area, it's usually a good thing to do. We were lucky that our FE-183 ended up coming through here, taking out that T-32, hitting the Leo for 1100. Etc., etc., etc. So he did a good job of clearing that out as a tank destroyer even, and the rest of it was just cleaning up, making sure that they don't put on too much cap pressure with a tier 8 tank, and then just mopping up the base really. And then if you look at the stats, pretty much what you might think. We ended up doing a ton of damage. A lot of it was to the AFK 110 and the Roomba. But you make your opportunities over on that 2 line to get shots. We also got a lot of damage off of that Panther 2. We got a few shots in on the Leo 1 as well, which is always helpful to when you can whittle down the tier 10 tanks in your tier 7 scout. That's always a nice thing. And then it's just pretty much pressing the base, and that's the other advantage of having the clip on the Bulldog as opposed to the single shotgun. That exchange that we had with the Roomba, you can do with the clip, but you can't really do that with the single shot. And the amount of burst that we had, for example, on that 110, even though he was AFK, let's pretend like he wasn't. It's difficult to sort of counter that, especially on a tank that's quite so fast. Which is why for the playstyle that I have, I really prefer to use the auto loader on the Bulldog. I just find it to be much more effective. Anyhow, so I hope that was helpful for both El Halluf and more cliplolz on the Bulldog, and thanks for watching.